People from central Kenya meet, it raises issues. I don't know why. Others can meet all the time. I know in, for example, Weston, there are meetings that take place there all the time for people from a particular region. They meet, and it's known. And because it's also a hotel, and other people visit and see the meeting. But nobody ever complains.
All right, you heard that. Deputy President's Hotel, they said, you people meet at the Western. Nobody complains. What's wrong with meeting at Lamada?
That is very true. I chaired a caucus of Rift Valley Members of Parliament. We last met about 8 months ago, and he's right to say we met at Weston. It doesn't need to, it's not a secret, because the media came and covered. When we finished, we addressed the media and so forth. We don't remove phones. It's not met in secret, and we are members of Parliament. So we have a caucus of Rift Valley Members of Parliament. There's a caucus for Mount Kenya Members of Parliament. They last met in Naivasha, and they went to meet the president in Sagana, if you remember that. There's a Coast Parliamentary Group. There is a Nyanza, especially Luo Nyanza Parliamentary Group. They meet all the time. There is a Western, which doesn't meet so more often, but I saw them meeting when they were dealing with the issues of sugar and so forth. Okay. All those meetings are political. They are nothing to do with... Wait, they are led by politicians, and they are bringing issues from their region. Once they put together those issues from their region, like the Mount Kenya Parliamentary Group, they met. They didn't meet so that they can take those problems to cabinet secretaries from their home. Because cabinet secretaries, let me tell you something. President Uhuru Kenyatta, when he formed government in 2013, one of the key things he said he will fight is ethnicity and tribalism, negative ethnicity. Right. When he shook hands with the former prime minister recently, in their 9-point agenda, or 10-point agenda, then one of the most important things was to deal with negative ethnicity. It is therefore not possible that the President of the Republic of Kenya has subdivided the cabinet to become an ethnic, to small ethnic enclaves that meet in secret places. No, let me just say this. No, can I conclude? Can I conclude by saying this? If the people of Central Province, through their leaders, or Mount Kenya region, through their leaders, have certain issues relating to water, relating to agriculture, relating to all of that, once they complete, they bring it to either Parliament, where we put the budgeting, or they come and meet all cabinet members without saying we will meet only those ones who come from our tribe.
How could 30 people plan a murder or assassination? How can 30 people? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Jeff, how many people should plan assassination?
I don't know. I've never tried to plan one, but 30 sounds like a lot of people.
You know, it can only be a lot of people if you know how to plan an assassination, and you know how many people should plan it.
Dennis Itumbi. This is a direct quote from him. He says, the DCI never sought DP for a statement when his house was raided in 2017 by an Al-Shabaab militant, His recently, when eggs were stolen in his home, they did not need the DP as a complainant. This is just doublespeak by the DCI, and it's unfortunate.
Well, I want to give the DCI benefit of doubt insofar as the current, because one, the DCI has not spoken publicly that is looking for deputy president and didn't get him. Because, as I said earlier, as a lawyer, he does not need a complaint from the deputy president to start investigation.
So you give him the benefit of the doubt?
Yes, to the DCI. But I was with the deputy president when his house was raided in Sugoi. We had just left. We left actually about 30 minutes later. The house was attacked, meaning that person was within the confines of that home as we were leaving for Kitale rally with the president. That story, if the deputy president was a person seeking sympathy, he would have sought sympathy in that story. But do you know what he did? He left it to be dealt professionally by the police and the investigators.
Before the break, I asked you about cracks in Jubilee. Jubilee is cracking up, cracking open.
I think, Jeff, the first thing to define is what is Jubilee and who is Jubilee.
What do you mean? Because this is not a class.
You know, for you to know whether it's cracking, you first have to know what's Jubilee. Jubilee is a political party which has over 8 million members who are voters and who demonstrated in the last election more than twice that they are over 8 million in the country. And this number of membership seems to have grown over time. Jubilee as a political party is led by the president and deputy, whom I have already assured you that they have excellent working relationship.
Yeah, but they're on autopilot, you said.
Yeah, well, I mean, as I said, they are now at a cruise level, which means things are working as they should. Mm. The question of whether there are cracks in Jubilee or not cannot be determined by the few errant elements within the management of the party. Because if you look at the governing council of the party, for example, it has over 500 members, which includes over 200 members of parliament, over, you know, almost 30 governors, so many MCAs and so forth. So, as a matter of fact, Jubilee is even more intact than before. In fact, in reality, let me tell you.
Such BS. No. I'm not going to complete the word. You know why? You know why? I'll tell you why.
Tell me why.
2 weeks ago,
yes,
a Corino annual event,
yes,
at Kasarani,
yes,
the president, I've never seen him so angry.
Yeah.
And he even spoke in his own mother tongue.
Yeah.
With your guy right next to him.
Yeah.
He was angry. He was saying, you people, you can't even develop your own home. You can't even build toilets in your own constituencies. You're busy campaigning for 2022. So don't tell me Jubilee is intact.
Jubilee is intact. I don't think the president was, when he spoke in, my appreciation of Kikuyu language is very limited.
You speak to your in-laws.
I know, but it's very limited.
He was angry.
And of course, there was translation and he was angry. You could see him lifting the whatever and so forth. But he was not angry at Jubilee.
He was angry at his own people.
And assuming he was even angry at Jubilee members and Jubilee leaders, don't you think that anger is a show of love? Assuming that
anger is a show of love?
Yes, because if you went to your house or your home, or if your parent came to your home and they found that things are not done in the manner in which he wanted, and he just keeps quiet, will you not ask yourself some questions?
So things are not right in Jubilee then?
No, we have not gone to Jubilee yet.
That's what you're saying.
We are talking about
your parents coming to your home.
We are talking about the situation of Kasarani when he was complaining about certain things that he thought they were not right.
By Jubilee members of parliament.
I don't think he only meant Jubilee members of parliament.
Yeah, he probably also meant other people. Tanga, Kieleweke.
All of them, combined. Assuming even he meant the Senator of Kirinyaga is an independent.
Correct.
Yeah, as a leader also.
I know.
The MP of, there are many independent members. There are people who came with different parties from that region.
How did you guys take it? How did Deputy President take it?
But the Deputy President, the first thing, and as I told one of your colleagues, the Deputy President was relaxed because he couldn't understand what was going on.
Yes, he could.
And who was...
Yes, he could.
It was translated later.
No.
But at that point in time...
understands the language, man. He understands.
A little. Maybe a slightly better than myself for some reason because of his political engagement.
He got the message.
But I think the pointers that would have said whether Jubilee is in good terms or not, first of all, we saw the president deputy, that's fine. All of us who come from parliament representing the party in the governing council, in the National Executive Council, we have no problem. Myself, Dwale, Susan, Wasiali, Caleb Kosetany, among others who are members. Even the chairman of the party has been. The only problem we've ever had was the vice chair who resigned. And the other problem was what you saw the other day about...
That's David Murathe.
About Tuju.
That's David Murathe.
Yeah, Murathe.
Who's determined that Ruto will not be president.
He's the captain of Stop Ruto movement.
Why is that, do you think?
I think, I personally, I'm not in the mind of Murathe. And I was here and I said...
Yes.
And I said that, because all of us want Jubilee to succeed, and our future presidential candidate, whom we don't know by now it's who, but of course the deputy president is a front runner, we have said that we'll do everything possible to reach out to our members, including Murathe,
but they were
to bring them back to the floor.
They were close at some point.
I don't know. I never found... remember Murathe was not in parliament by the time I went there.
Correct.
And if there was closeness behind the scenes, personally, I never got to see that interaction between the two of them. But if they were close one day, it means they will be close again in future. In fact, don't be surprised, Jeff, that after all these shenanigans you see around here, that Murathe might end up being closer to William Ruto's government than Kipchumba Murkomen.
That is such BS again. You know why?
No, let me tell you why.
Because William Ruto does not forgive very easily.
Jeff,
he does not forgive.
Well,
you know that.
How did you come up with that? Where did you find that?
That man.
Where did you find that?
That man.
Yeah.
If you wrong him,
yeah,
he'll never forgive you.
Tell me one reason, one example.
I'll come to it in a moment.
One example.
I'll come to it in a moment.
No, Jeff, I think it's important because he's not here to defend himself. So for the benefit of the both of us, it's unfortunate because William Ruto was part of a process that was so painful in this nation of uniting communities that are disagreed in 2007-2008 violence, and him and Uhuru Kenyatta against it. The good thing is that I had the benefit of that time being their lawyer.
Right.
And when we went for meetings, and William Ruto is telling the people of Rift Valley, we have to form a relationship with the Uhuru Kenyatta and people from Central Province because we want to end the politics of animosity and differences and violence and so forth. Do you know those people almost actually refused initially? So he held a huge meeting in Eldoret, and I remember that meeting, which had about almost 10,000 people. And the first person to speak in the meeting was himself, and he became the last person to speak. It took about 3 hours to educate those people why it's important to unite the country.
Let me ask you this.
And let me say this first. Yeah. By the end of that conversation, everybody stood and said, you make sense. Okay. And as a result of his determination then, that is where we are as a country
Let's face it, Senator, let's face it. This marriage between these two is a marriage of convenience. It's a marriage of convenience.
It is the same thing they say.
The body language is no longer there.
I guess, Jeff, I mean, you know, maybe you have a different way of reading body language. When I read the body language of President Uhuru Kenyatta, it is driven by the anxiety to achieve his legacy because time is moving. Yeah.
And the deputy president is busy campaigning for 2022? Well,
I have not seen him campaign, unless someone show me any evidence that where the deputy president has campaigned.
Come on,
because
Senator,
Jeff, can I, because this is the hypocrisy we have in the country. Many people say, you know, the deputy president has campaigned because he has gone to church and he has done an Arambe in church, or he has gone to launch a road, or he has gone to launch a TTI somewhere, or he's launching a water project somewhere. So who would President Uhuru Kenyatta be campaigning for when he went to launch the Rivertex the other day? He wasn't campaigning for anybody, but still he had presence of many people.
Yes.
When Raila Odinga went with the president to Nyanza and they discussed development issues, and then the MPs, all these as MPs, Orengo said, telling Uhuru Kenyatta, you know, we unajua, and then recently telling him that we want you to give the seat to former Prime Minister.
Yes.
Why do you think nobody said that was campaigning? When Mudavadi goes around the country, was the other day in Taita Taveta during an Arambe, it is not campaigning.
Yeah. But that's not Jubilee.
No, I'm just giving the example. None of that is Jubilee.
And you guys have an agenda.
Within Jubilee itself, and I can say this without fear of contradiction, we've operated the way we've operated before. Because in 2013, after the elections, President Kenyatta and Deputy President said we must go closer to the people. We must listen to the views of the people. We must have feedback from the people. If the Deputy President does not take time to visit various parts of the country, how will the feedback come to the cabinet and to his boss?
How is he able to do 4, 5, 6 places in one day? I mean, what kind of energy is that?
That guy has amazing. You know,
what is it?
You know, once in a while, I have been able to be in a gym where he is. And that guy just enters the gym like this. You know, some of us start the gym by walking a little bit, warm up and so forth. Yes. Just enters the gym and hits 10 kilometers per hour continuously for 1 hour. You know, continuously for 1 hour. For 1 hour, all through. What? And you know, I'm asking myself, my goodness, I mean, because of our age difference, by more than 12, 13 years.
He's my age, yes.
He's actually your age. And I'm asking myself, so I think one of the things that he should thank God for is that he gave him, you know, good health.
Let me ask you real quick, before we go to break.
Yeah.
There's a statement, you know the famous statement by the president saying, wacha mimi nifanya kumi yangu, alafu William atafanya hiyo ingine kumi.
Yeah.
Is there a sense of self-entitlement here that, you know, it's only fair that you hand us the baton? Is there a sense of entitlement?
First of all, it will be wrong to try to corner the president that he is not trying to do that. The best way for President Uhuru Kenyatta to make it easy for William Ruto to succeed in 2022, including either William Ruto or the party itself, is by completing the pledges of Jubilee and ensuring the Big Four agenda and the development of the country succeeds. Because Jubilee will be campaigning based on successes of its program.
Which is not happening now.
Now, if you wanted to judge whether President Uhuru Kenyatta is committed to facilitating the success of William Ruto in future, you will have to look at what is he doing to ensure that he delivers the people.
You're not answering my question, and you're being a lawyer now.
Yeah.
Is there a sense of entitlement? Like, you know, we've given you guys your 10. Yeah. It's time to hand it to us.
I think we must start by removing ourselves from this argument that there's some people who give position to President Uhuru Kenyatta, and those people should give to William Ruto.
William Ruto delivered the Rift Valley. Let's say he delivered the Rift.
No, we prefer looking at things as Jubilee, as that we delivered, all of us, for President Uhuru Kenyatta.
That's not right.
No, we're better that way. Number two, that William Ruto is running for presidency not as a Kalenjin, but as a qualified candidate for presidency in the Republic of Kenya under Jubilee. If we don't do that, Jeff, however difficult it is because of our history, if we don't do that, we will not slay this dragon of tribalism.
Okay, what do you tell people who say that this Murkomen guy, he's just a sycophant? That's what you are.
They don't know me, Jeff. They don't know me. Jeff, they don't know me. They see glimpses of me when they see me sometimes unhappy in Senate and I'm raising certain issues and so forth and so forth. People, even Senator Orengo or all these other people who have engaged me in private and who have seen my resolute on issues. Or if you went to ask the president or the deputy whether I am a sycophant, they would tell you that is the worst tag. That is the last person to put such a tag. Jeff, I am a team player, but it doesn't mean I force my ideas on people, but I share my ideas openly. Once we have agreed on a position as a team, I defend the position of the team. And Jeff, I came to politics with a desire to fulfill certain things, and I'm very proud of my record.
Okay, I'm going to give a quote from you from 2019.
Yeah.
Maybe I should wait till after the break.
Yeah.
There's a quote for you from 2019 I want you to comment on.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there. Is that all right?
Okay.
And then we'll take some tweets.
But we are still in 2019.
Okay, in March.
Okay.
3 months ago.
Yes.
Okay, this is what you said.
Yeah.
Monica, do we have time? You cannot hide behind the handshake and fight against graft when we know that the agenda is to fight Ruto politically.
Yes.
Uhuru should come out and tell us he is tired with his deputy, and we call it a day. You said that.
I never said that.
3 months ago?
I never said that.
What?
Jeff, by the way, and I'm glad you pulled out that thing. Because finally I was...
At the burial of Bomet East, Beatrice Koness's son, Collins Kipyegon.
Yeah, but I never said... I know.
You're denying.
I want you to listen to me. Why don't you play the clip? Why don't you play because we spoke in public. We spoke in public. The point we tried to say, I never mentioned the president anywhere. Unless it was someone else who did the...
It was you.
No,
it's a direct quote from you.
It wasn't me.
March 9th.
No,
let's look for the soundbite. Let's take a break. Come back. You're denying
But I wanted to explain to you...
You can explain after the break.
Yeah, okay.
But you're denying it.
Completely. That it is as you've read.
Yes.
It's not true.
That's what you said.
No, it's not true. And I wanted to answer this. There's been a Facebook page... Yeah, that someone opened in my name, like yours. You have about you have about 30, 40. Mine, I've reduced mine. It's about 3 or 4 now. And one of them likes posting, and I've seen some people trying to make jokes about it. He likes posting saying the law is clear.
Right.
The law is clear. It says this and so forth. So some people think it's me who is because as a lawyer I can't say the law is clear. The law is never clear, but. And sometimes one of them even posted another day that rest in peace Professor Anyang' Nyong'o. Another one
on your
on some not fake, mine fake. On the fake page. Another one even likes posting things threatening the president. So the point is this.
So you're saying this is not you?
No, that's not me.
You deny.
But I said something about people should not hide. I didn't say the president. I said people should not hide behind the handshake and fight against corruption and they're attacking the president. I never said the deputy president. I never said the president.
Let's come back and talk about the handshake. You people are not happy with it. You're not happy. You're not happy with the marriage. The bed is getting smaller.
That's a good analogy, but it's not right entirely because you will be insinuating some other things.
Yeah. We'll take a break. Jeff Kananga Live continues in a moment. Stay with us and we'll read your tweets and your SMSs when we come back. We're talking live with Senate Majority Leader Kibicho Murkomen right here on Jeff Kananga Live. Take a break. Be back in a moment. Jeff Kananga Live right here at Citizen Television with Senate Majority Leader Kibicho Murkomen. He's also the senator from Elgeyo Marakwet County, number 028. Senator, take a look at that headline behind me there. That's tomorrow's People newspaper. Yeah. Take a look at that. Now Kibicho reports Ruto to police. He says internal security PS, one of those mentioned in the yet-to-be authenticated letter, alleging plot to assassinate the DP, files harassment complaint against the country's second-in-command. The question here is, the deputy president and this guy, they don't get along, do they? They don't like each other. Let's face it.
Forget about liking each other. This is unprecedented. This is unprecedented. Can you imagine in the United States, for example, an undersecretary somewhere is reporting to Donald Trump. He's actually taking one of the cabinet secretaries, Pompeo or somebody, to
Trump.
to FBI or what do you call, to the criminal department or to the Attorney General for prosecution and so forth. This is unprecedented. And when I looked at...
so is that unfair?
Let me just come to that. I'll come to that. When I saw C.S. Munya, the way he was speaking in a condescending manner towards the deputy president, you know, especially, forget about when you came for an interview here, especially when he was at the DCI's place, with a lot of arrogance and, you know, forget even about the fact that he called members of parliament children and so forth. Then you have a PS having the audacity, first of all, to withdraw county commissioners from attending deputy president meetings, and thereafter to purport, because I hope this is not true, that he could be reporting
this
the deputy
tomorrow's
president.
People
Yes,
Daily.
that I'm saying. I've seen. Yeah, I've seen also
tomorrow's news today.
I've also seen online in the other newspapers. Yeah. To have the audacity to report the deputy president to DCI. I mean, honestly, in which country in the world? I mean, the president doesn't need criminal culpability to act. This is just a simple administrative action. And you know what they say? Yeah. You know what they say? Those whom the gods want to destroy, they first make them mad.
Correct, they make them crazy.
And I think for sure, you know, as we say, I think these guys are fattening themselves for slaughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your good friend Kabando Wakabando has just sent in a message. He says, you are a brilliant legislator. Yeah. You've raised the political heights in record time. Yeah. But he says two things. Yeah. You're being economical with the truth. One, he says, Jubilee is divided from the very top. It's a fact. Okay. No longer at ease. The center cannot hold. Things fall apart. This is a Chinua Achebe tragedy. He says, 2017 was akin to 1988, and 2002 will be like 1990. And he says, if WSR fails, he will be blaming you, Kibicho Murkomen. You hate anyone who asks questions as unmitigated. So in short, tonight, you are being economical with the truth.
Not really. You know, my friend Kabando, very good friend of mine, former MP of my grandmother-in-law, and so we have a good relationship. Number two is that I find it strange that a caliber of recently appointed board members, including chairs of boards who are former members of parliament, including Kabando Wakabando, would find themselves in, because he's a chair of one of the boards, would find themselves in a situation where they can comfortably discuss or perpetuate a conversation of president is this way, deputy is this way. First of all, as I'm trying to tell you, those are unprecedented things. In a country where there is only one political party with one president and its deputy, for civil servants or public officers like Kabando Wakabando to have the audacity, like Kibicho is trying to do, or like Munya was trying to do, to talk ill of a deputy of the president, that is the highest level of insubordination. But number two, and most importantly, Kabando Wakabando knows very well that as a former legislator, politics is about choosing what narrative you want to put out there, what kind of person you want to be out there. Yeah. For us, we have chosen, and we have no problem to stick with that. We have chosen to stick with the Uhuru Ruto ideology. We do not want, and I have requested, you know, Kabanda, we have had a one-on-one,
yes.
and I've always told him
yes.
that we need him in Jubilee, and as a unifying factor, because he's a very brilliant, intelligent guy,
yeah.
as a unifying factor going forward. Because in William Ruto's government, and I'm telling you this, without, by the way, it may look like a joke,
yeah.
but you will be surprised that possibly in a William Ruto's government, the people of like Kabanda or Kabanda may hold the higher positions than myself. That is, for the short period I've been in politics, that is not unprecedented.
Okay. By the way, the Standard has a similar headline tomorrow. It says, Kibicho now wants Ruto investigated.
You know,
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Has there been problems before with Kibicho and the deputy president?
No, yes. And I know where the problem is. The problem one, of course, as I told you earlier, the purported allegations about the Lamada incident and the issue of Saitoti is linked to Kibicho. That's from the street. But until, of course, the DCI investigates, what we hear from the streets is that he's the one who actually, because he's the co-chair of that meeting, he's the main guy. He's also been accused of the one funding the Kieleweke and Embrace team.
But that's just an accusation.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's an accusation.
Yes.
I'm just accusation.
Yes.
Those accusations in public. But more seriously is the guy who has been withdrawing these county commissioners and so forth and telling them they should not cover meetings of the DP. So I'll not be surprised that he would take that last step. And by the way, if that is true, because I've just seen it for the first time, eyes will not go to DCI. No. An intelligent Kenyan will not look at DCI. Nobody even going to look at what DCI is going to say. All eyes will go to the president. Because everybody now will ask themselves, what action is the president going to do to ensure that he restores order within the government itself?
Are you going to do everything you can to make sure Deputy President William Ruto becomes president? Because that's what it seems like. That's your agenda.
Not at all. It is not. It is not. We are not desperate for the Deputy President to become president. In fact, if you ask me, I will work hard for Jubilee to continue being in office beyond 2022. Who
do you think would be his biggest rival?
If it happens...
Who do you think?
I haven't seen, you know, unless you give me ideas. At the moment, in real politics, nationally, the greatest challenger for William Ruto is Raila Odinga. And since he's been warming up to joining Jubilee, we have even joked that he should just quit ODM, join Jubilee. We finish this thing on nomination. If he beats William Ruto, we'll support him. That's why I said, if we are going to be building institutions and political parties that outlast ourselves and institutions that will make the country become stable so that when the commander-in-chief is in office, he doesn't have all the time to manually do things. He just puts autopilot and we move. Yeah. We must be able to build institutions.
Coming back to Kibicho.
Yeah.
And your earlier issues with him, you, Deputy President, have you reported that to the president? Have you guys gone in and said, you know what, this guy is giving us a hard time, man. We don't like this guy.
It's not private. You know, I was in Kisumu, no, not Kisumu, Nakuru, when we were in a function with Susan Kiiga, myself, Moses Kuria, among others. And you know, just because we held that meeting there and we were all talking about Deputy President positively, security of Susan Kiiga was withdrawn within 2 or 3 hours. A number of members of parliament who were seen to be moving around the Deputy President, their security was withdrawn mysteriously, you know, again linked to the same office. So ultimately, a decision has to be made. I did not appoint Kibicho, and I have no appointing powers. Our complaints are not intended to ensure that he's removed from office. Our complaints are always that, can we do things right?
But you just don't like him.
You know, people like...
you think he would? You think you said the Deputy President is very forgiving, right? You think he would forgive him?
Not just Kibicho. There are more people who have disagreed with Deputy President before that work with him so closely in government. You know?
Like who?
Say, for example, there was a time being reported that the Deputy President had a difference with Governor Anne Waiguru. But thereafter, they were working together.
Yeah, but he's the one who said that she was catwalking, and, you know, he made that phrase,
but there were other things. I don't want to go back to it because now, you know, Anne we are all team members and we are players. So I don't want to discuss what was negative. But there was already a certain negative perception about the two. But they are working together. That's that's not the only person. There are so many people that the deputy president was not working with before.
Okay, handshake. Yeah. Worked or not worked?
Worked in some ways, yes. Let me tell you, the greatest achievement of handshake is the peaceful political environment in the country, the end of Mandamano, except the one for Moses Kuria today, and
the tear gas.
The tear gas.
Yes.
The way Moses Kuria was really sipping that tear gas, it looked like someone who had really missed this thing of tear gassing, across the, and he was, Moses was trying to say, this thing, it will cause a revolution, and so one of the things that Kenyans have missed, are thankful about the handshake is that this calm political environment. The responsibility for all of us is to turn that to benefit of the country. Yeah. Unfortunately, also, the opposition interpreted the handshake to mean it's an opportunity to forfeit their responsibility as an opposition, so that you have a country that has a dead opposition. Right. So the reason why you see even many Jubilee members are filling the gap to raise issues that otherwise would have been raised by the opposition is because the opposition is functionally dead. Clinically dead, actually, if I can put it that way. And therefore, internally, people are portioning themselves responsibility to check excesses of government because we have not a working opposition. Number two, and this is where I have called out my friends in the opposition, is the hypocrisy, where people come in and then say, now we will have a handshake, but as Joe said in Busia, go and discuss in the political party and say, Baba said we must continue fighting William Ruto and fight anybody who is going to support William Ruto. Do
you think the president is not protecting his deputy enough? Is that what you're trying to say?
I think it would be terrible if the president attempted to get into a political conversation at the moment. I totally agree with the president that he should rise above, for the simple reason that is the president of the Republic of Kenya who is serving his last term. So it must be the unifying factor. It is understood when the deputy president disagrees with Raila Odinga, as I told you, those are the main protagonists going to 2022. Yes. It's understood because they still have political opportunity to run for president.
Don't forget what happened to Daniel Arap Moi for many years when he was deputy. Or maybe you were still a youngster there, you don't remember?
I was not born yet. I was not born.
Tweets. I knew you'd say that. Nyaga David Mushangi, you say, Kipchumba Murkomen asserts that the country is cruising on autopilot. He also vehemently denies that there is a split in Jubilee, the party that leads a country that is on a free fall. The two positions are from the same mouth, are mutually exclusive. Incongruency.
I think I know David.
You know him?
Yeah, but I think he needs to revise what we discussed about what autopilot means. It is not in competition with the fact that we have a united. And when you have difference of opinion and you have few elements in the management of the party who possibly, like, I can see my friend Tuju really has reported in the clip that he's on his way out.
Right. So is he on his way out? It's your party.
But that was his own admission that by 2021, he wants to hang around here. 2021, he gets elsewhere. So, but of course, we have elections of the party next year. Yes. And if I was him, in principle, after the leakage of that tape, in principle, I would have resigned because his position is diabolically opposite the aspirations of the president.
That's your Secretary General. That's your...
Yeah.
Goodness. Okay. Jamba Lariani says, I am crying for my country. We are definitely headed into the wrong direction. President has, as the father of the nation and a symbol of national unity, Kenya is looking for directions from you. I hope God will give you wisdom. You need to call your household to order.
I agree. I think, what's his name? Somebody, something. But I agree that to a great extent, even members of the party are saying we need to have frequent, more PGs in the party so that we can be able to address this simmering tension, because it will become fallacious to have a small group there calling itself Kieleweke and the rest of the bigger party being now branded as Tanga-Tanga.
And then Moses Kuria adds his own, says, I love you to kutane nyuma ya tent.
The Moses Kuria one, Moses is my friend. Nyuma ya tent is neither here nor there. It's part of both Kieleweke and Tanga.
Boniface Nyalwal says, Jeff, most politicians like Kipchumba Murkomen and most citizens in this country keep on using the statement, the problem in this country, ... as if someone else is the source of the same problems. When will we ever realize they are the problem? You people are part of the problem.
I think that is actually the problem. Yeah, the fact that nobody wants to take admission of some of the problems are by leaders, some are by citizens, and that therefore collectively it is the problem with the country. And if we don't put those things on the table as a team, because it is us, we were elected, we are fewer than the people who elected us.
Correct.
And therefore, you know, when we want to solve the problems which are affecting our country, we must be able to listen. That's why the Constitution put in place public participation as a very important principle of governance.
Absolutely. Mariam Ali Jimali says, I believe young people have the power because we make up the biggest voting number now. And it is our right to tell these politicians to stop dividing us because we are the one as Kenya. Instead, let them show us their work instead of talking too much.
Behind all this sort of talking too much, a lot of work is happening in the country. The president said in Narok, and I agree with him entirely, if we just post and amplify that which is positive, we would be able to inspire our country. You know, Jeff, you lived in the United States of America. They put a lot of amplification on what Jefferson said, what Lincoln said,
yeah.
and you know, and things about patriotism and being a one country and so forth. It's up to us as a country to try to amplify things that are positive, because a lot of positive things are happening.
You think they'll be quoting Kipchumba Murkomen in 100, 200 years?
You know, the issues of history, I leave it to history, but I hope, I usually hope, I believe and hope that the little contribution I've made, particularly as a senator and on the floor of the Senate and in bills and legislation in the Senate, including the defending the institution of devolution, I hope history will be kind to me.
Okay. And last one, Kimani Ishungwa, your friend, Mweshimiwa. He says, what was the desperation in parading for the press at DCI? Why couldn't the DCI investigate such a delicate matter quietly, gather evidence and summon persons of interest at the right time? Or was it to push a political narrative rather than investigate?
Probably, I really suspect that the DCI never wanted that public parade because I've now learned from the stories we hear that many people have recorded statements without, in fact, some of them recorded in their offices. I think that Munya led a smaller team of the bigger team that was in Lamada to go and do this political posturing. Because if you knew that I was going there to record a statement, or I am not going to record a statement in that particular place, there was no point, you know, pre-warning the media and telling them we are all going there and so forth and so forth. You would have tried to find the truth. But even after doing so, addressing the press, I could see Joe Musheru, if I'm not wrong, because I would see him standing next to Munya. He was trying to stop Munya from talking too much, because it was a very uncomfortable situation. Because if you are asked to come and record a statement, nobody has made an allegation that it was them, in fact, who said the words that are related to the killing of the deputy president. To the contrary, it's being said it was a PS. So I think mistakenly, our friend Munya thought he was going to milk political advantage from it.
But don't forget, both Kibicho and the deputy president report to the president.
That is true, but Kibicho reports to the deputy president. But the president reports to the president only. So that is a fact, unless we want to, you know, skirt around the real issues. And when you see...
So you're feeling disrespected a bit, aren't you?
I think...
You feel disrespected?
Myself?
No, the deputy president.
Well, I haven't seen it in his body language, but all Kenyans, go see everywhere. When Munya spoke that day, tomorrow, see what will happen when they say that, oh, you know, our PS is reporting his boss, the deputy president, to DCI for harassment. What kind of crap is that? I mean, really, as a country, we just can't... When we start watching that kind of behavior, of course, that's why I said I believe so strongly President Uhuru Kenyatta will not allow a government that will run with wrangles and at the same time still stand public and say, my brother Raila Odinga, we have united the country. Yeah. I think if we are going to unite the country, it must start with the order within the confines of our own political party and the government. All right, Senator, I know you play a lot of soccer for your Senate team, and you have your own team. You support Gor Mahia, and you support Man U as well. Good for you. AFCON 2019, Kenya, Tanzania tomorrow. What do you think? Your thoughts, real quick. I think we'll whip Tanzania. I think if there's something I look forward to tomorrow is our opportunity. If there is nothing else, and I hope Victor Wanyama, you are listening to me, he's my friend. I'll text him later. If there is nothing else they are going to do a favor to the country, is to protect our regional bragging rights. They must ensure that they beat Tanzania. Even if they lose to Senegal later. Even if they lose the whole thing and come home, we must be able to walk around the East Africa community and say we beat Tanzania. But we must also remember that Tanzania are our best friends, the best country. Some of my best friends are members of parliament in Tanzania. Some of them, I went to school with them and so forth. And the little thing that happened this week about my friend Jakwa and his statement and so forth, it must not be allowed in our country because we are now a globalized society. We gain more by having good working relationship with our neighbors. And every December, I take my children to Arusha to go and play soccer. We have a football competition in Arusha every December. It's a beautiful place. So it's a beautiful, fantastic place. We should be pursuing better relationship. But we must beat them tomorrow. But for the soccer match, we will hammer them thoroughly, and after the 90 minutes, we'll hug each other. Senator Kipchumba Murkomen. Yes. Thank you so much for your time, man. Thank you, Jeff. Look at the time. Oh, time flies when you're having fun. Thank you. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And you know, if the deputy president wants to come to talk to us, Mongalesha too. You know, tuko sawa. No, you know, Jeff. If you want, so that you test that issue you were saying about deputy president, his ness and whatever. Why don't you just give him a text or a WhatsApp? Just send him a message and say, I want to have you in JKLive. What do you think? He will call you. I know. Sometimes there was a time we sat with him. Some young man, somewhere, I think it was in Busia or whatever, sent a text and said, I can't pay my school fees. So we're sitting somewhere taking tea. He just pressed that number, called the guy. The guy explained his problems, whatever. He asked for the account and so forth and so forth. He told his aide to go and pay the school fees. And the aide went to pay the school fees. So it's not always that. So if I text him and say, just tell him I want you in JKLive, he'll reply. Definitely. I have no doubt. I have no doubt. I have no doubt because he has dealt with. You heard it from his best friends. Thanks, Senator. Thank you, Jeff. Wow, what a show, folks. Thanks so much for your tweets. Keep tweeting at Koinange Jeff, at Citizen TV Kenya. The hashtag, as always, is JKLive. And remember, every Wednesday, it's all about those three letters on the keyboard that follow each other. JKL, right here on Citizen Television. Thank you so much for all your time tonight. We'll see you tomorrow morning from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the hottest breakfast show in all of Africa, Hot 96 with Professor Hamo. We call it Jeff and Hamo on Hot. Thanks so much. And by the way, JKL is powered by Standard Chartered Priority Banking. Your world is better with Priority Banking. Thanks so much for being a part of the show. Good night, good luck, and God bless this beautiful nation of ours called Kenya. God bless you.